They treated us like kind of like we were in prison. Some kids left, some people stayed, but some people, they didn't stay, you know what I mean? Because they didn't have the mentality. And I was like, I'm gonna do whatever. Like, I was thinking about, it's either ride or die. Whatever I gotta do, I'm doing. Yeah, I was hungry, you know what I mean? Literally and physically. So I started playing football like 5 years old, grew up inner city kid. You know what I mean? Football is gonna give me opportunity because I grew up with like an IEP. I grew up in a household, we had lead paint. The lead paint started affecting me as learning. Then I went from there. My mom had me at 16, so I wanted to really, help her out. Sophomore, junior year of high school, getting about 20 offers. I lost all my offers my senior year because I wasn't eligible. I was like, yo, I'm gonna make this happen. I was like, coach, I'm gonna take the risk. So I'm home, like, damn, I don't got no offer. I did everything I had to do. Playing against all type of caliber dudes. I had all that film stacked up. I was hustling, like, you know how back in the day they had Walmart selling mixtapes? This how I was selling emails out. So I would send $250 in the morning, go work out, $250 at night, go do some landscaping, and I was just hustling for about, a month or two. The one coach hit me up about 12 a.m. Hey, I like your film. I'm gonna call you in the morning. I want to offer you. I told my mom. She's like crying and shit. I called my coach. I'm like, is this a good school, man? Because I want to go to the league. So I did that, and then after that, I kind of got depressed. I just felt dark.
When did you have that moment where you're like, this isn't the path I want to be on?
I was in the car and I was just like, I broke out and cried. I was like, damn, what's next? But fitness was right there. I'm gonna do fitness full time. And then my parents, they ain't really believe it. It's like, how you gonna do that? You know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna use social media as a platform. So like, I was always crazy. Like, I was always jumping out of pools, like Bradley Martin, all these guys. I was like, if they could do that, I could do it 10x on steroids. I was like, yo, I'm gonna do bad flips, lifting 585. I was always figuring the best ways to get myself in a position. I was just doing my research and I stayed consistent with it where I had nothing.
If you can become a master at one thing, you can basically become a master at anything. As football players, we get put in this pigeonhole that like, you're a football player. And it's like, no, I play football. I'm not a football player. You know what I mean? Like, that's not my identity. I can do whatever I put my mind to. So I can be a singer, a dancer, an artist, a gym owner. I can do whatever. I hope everybody's really, really listening to how you got where you are today. The reason why you're just in this space that you're in is literally not stopping working. Like, you put in the work. You were consistent. You never felt sorry for yourself. You never said, oh, I didn't get the football chance, so I'm gonna sit around and eat Doritos and play video games and stay with my mama. No, you were like, I'm gonna figure this out and I'm gonna make something of myself. And you just kept working. You kept working. And it didn't matter what it was. It just was hard work. And the take-home message there is everyone wants to try to figure out what they need to do. And what I always say is just get to work at something, because you never know what that something will turn into, maybe something else. Like, so we got Matthias. I just like saying it, Matthias. That's a name, bro. I love it. And Hezekiah is back in the back. Hez, brought the whole team from New York. So where are you from?
Albany, New York.
Albany.
So capital.
The capital of New York is Albany? I didn't even know that. Swear to God, I didn't even know that. That's hilarious. All right, so I always thought it was New York City, New York. Yeah, exactly. All right, Albany, New York. Learn something new every day.
I appreciate it, man.
And how long you been in New York?
I'm 29, so I've been, it's weird because my life kind of was in and out of New York. So like I was traveling, football, you have the football background. So I was in and out of New York. So I would say solid like 20 years, but the other 9 kind of So
tell us a little about that. Where'd you play ball at?
Pathway. So I started playing football at like 5 years old. Grew up inner city kid, and then I picked up the rock. Started playing tackle, and then from there I went on and I played. Went to play middle school. Went to a private school. It was politics, so I went to another private school, and then I was like, damn, I didn't really know. Football is gonna give me opportunity because I grew up with like an IEP, so I have a disability.
Wait, IEP?
Yeah.
What's that?
So IEP is like intellectual educational. I forgot the exact words for it, but it's basically like a kid that has either like a physical, like it could be grammar comprehension. It could be,
like dyslexia, so it could be, ADHD,
so it could
like
be
those
anything
kind of things
along them lines. Yeah. But I had just I grew up in a household where we had lead paint. The lead paint started affecting me as learning. So 4th grade, they put me in from a regular class into a special class. This is when George W. Bush was president. He passed a bill for kids like me that had a disability, but we need to learn in a different setting. So they moved me out of that room, went there, and then, I grew up disability, special ed. People used to make fun of me, bully me, and all that shit. And then I went from there. I really was passionate about football, so my mom had me at 16. So I wanted to really, help her out. So football kind of like the workout, the mindset, the no days off, all that was like my type of vibe. And then I ended up getting opportunity like sophomore, junior year of high school, getting about 20 offers. But I was like, I can't even do it because I feel like I didn't have the knowledge, but I had somewhat people believe in me. My mom, she believed in me. So I was like, oh, how are we going to do this? So I had to do extra time. So I would go after school, educate, like doing everything possible to pick my grades up because I hated school. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I went from, just a regular kid, like really not caring about school, but now staying after because I had to at least get an 85 and above. So I lost all my offers my senior year because I wasn't eligible. I had a conversation with one of my coaches. It was like either JUCO or prep school. Prep school, we go to prep. From New York, football is not a thing. Like it's not like
the South.
It's not like the South.
I grew up in Alabama and football was like everything.
That's like the opposite. Like basketball is like how y'all treat football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So nobody really cared. Like, oh, you ain't about to do this. But I was like, yo, I'm gonna make this happen. I was like, coach, I'm gonna take the risk. So that's how I got to where I'm at now. I took the risk. I was like, I'm gonna just do football 1 year, prep school. I went down to North Carolina, Charlotte. So this is what I was telling you. I'm kind of everywhere. So
I like that. So you went to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, so from Bishop McKinnon, Albany, went down to Charlotte. My mom was crying because I'm like, I don't even know how many miles it is. It's like 1,200 miles.
Yeah, that's a long way away. Yeah,
I mean, 18
I was
years.
just in Charlotte.
So really? Yeah. It's just like it's Matthews, but the school don't exist no more because like some scandal stuff. I can tell you about that later. It's fucking crazy. It's like, it's just like whatever. But yeah, I went there. The thing was, it's an all-American team. You got guys from Alaska. You got guys from Texas, Washington, all caliber players, and every position was stacked up with 5 stars. Wow. It was just guys that either didn't care about school or they had to get film or they needed the extra year. Yeah. So you go in there kind of just for survival of the fittest, So I went in there. I was like, I don't care about none of y'all. I'm coming here to do what I got to do. I got to get my grades right. So we was being in a classroom probably the same size as this. On a laptop, we take online classes. Yeah. We kind of, then we had to do it there, and then right to the field. And they treated us like kind of like we were in prison. You know what I mean?
Oh wow, okay.
So we in there. Some kids left, some kids came, some people stayed, but some people they didn't stay. You know what I mean? Because they didn't have the mentality. And I was like, I'm gonna do whatever. Like I was thinking about it's either ride or die. Like my mom, she took out a loan for me to come to this. Right. So I'm like, whatever I gotta do, I'm doing. So like I just stayed through blood, sweat, broken ankles every day. We ain't have no trainers, so every day I'm in a cold plunge. We would go get the ice, put it in the bucket, or get the coldest water we could possibly get. And my mom couldn't send me no food, so I was on a carb diet for about 6 months. Wow. Straight carbs. Or if I would go to the cookout, get like a massive ass burger that was like gonna fuel me up for a couple of days. But yeah, I was hungry. You know what I mean? Literally and physically. So I got the opportunity.
And what position do you play?
I play running back.
Running back. All right.
So I got the opportunity to play at Wagner. So Wagner College. So this story about Wagner is crazy. Not a lot of people know about it. I came back home, had no offers, right?
And this is after prep.
This is after prep.
Okay, so you did 1 year at Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte.
Now you go back to Albany.
Back to Albany.
And where is Wagner?
Wagner's in Staten Island.
Okay, so it's New York too.
New York City. So like Jersey, like people don't like, oh, it's a lost barrel, whatever. But yeah, so I went home back to Albany, and I had no offers, but I had all my grades and everything was tight. But it was just super hard because you got the portal, you have all these kids like everywhere. So I'm home, like, damn, I don't got no offer. I did everything I had to do. Film is tight. We played against Fort Union guys that went to Bama. We played against all type of caliber dudes. I had all that film stacked up. So I was hustling. Like, you know how back in the day they had Walmart selling mixtapes.
Yeah.
This is how I was selling emails out.
So you were sending your tapes out to everybody.
Yeah, sending emails out because I made YouTube. So this is how I got into when I was 16. I got into music and audio and stuff like that. So I had a skill for production.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was hustling. I would go shovel. I was just a grinder because I hated asking people for stuff. So I was like, I got it because I don't like borrowing somebody else's product. I like to have my own because I just don't like to feel like I'm being annoying. So I was going through that process, sending about 250 emails a day. So I created 2 emails because Google had at this time, Gmail has a limit on how many emails you can send out. So I will send 250 in the morning, go work out, 250 at night, go do some landscaping. And I was just hustling for about, a month or two. The one coach hit me up about 12 a.m. Hey, I like your film. We're gonna call you in the morning. I want to offer you. 1 a.m. The head coach called me up. Oh shit! I told my mom. She's like crying and shit. I called my coach. I'm like, is this a good school, man? Because I want to go to the league.
Yeah, right.
Everything is just working for. I'm like, I want to go to the league. So my mom was like, you better take that damn. I was like,
it was a scholarship offer, right?
Full ride. You know what I mean? From Albany. Not a lot of people get the opportunity. So I'm
amazing.
I was in the bathtub, literally in the bathtub, calling my coach. I'm like, Coach, is this a good decision? He's like, you can't I was like, I don't know how to pack. He's like, yo, you coming the next day to come get you. Next day, this is 2023. In January, that signing day. The day after signing day, they called me. Next day, they come pick me up. I'm on a campus. Within
this 2023?
2013.
Okay, I was about to say, wait a minute.
Not 2013.
That timeline doesn't make sense. No, I'm just kidding. 2013.
Yeah, 2013.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, I was 2013. I was 18 years old. Right. Boom. And they come get me. I go there. And I come in there with the varsity jacket. So the running back, he's an All-American. Name is Dominique Williamson. Okay. And I didn't really know who Buddy was, but I was like, bro, I'm come take his spot. Right. You know what I mean? I'm a New York dude. I was like, I'm come take his spot or whatever. And he was relaxing. Like, he was like, already got this sealed. We had the spring game. I went off. And then he was so good and so experienced that he just took one play and scored on like an 80-yard touchdown. I'm like, damn, bro. Then I'm back at square one again. Wow, okay. But yeah, so I ended up going to Wagner, and then that's how I got to that position. And then through Wagner,
and how many years were you at Wagner?
4 years.
4 years. Okay.
So I was thinking about transferring because the coach that gave me the full ride, he retired, ended up just being a strictly AD because he's AD and he was the head coach. Yeah. He retired my sophomore year. I was All-American my freshman year at Wagner. And then sophomore year, I was like a second team all conference, and then from junior year, a new coach came in, and then he bought his stacked in, and he kind of tried to push me to the back burner. But I'm like, bro, I'm a dog. You ain't about to roll me like that. Yeah. So I just was beast mode. He every time I could have the best game, 250 yards with 4 touchdowns, new starters, and another running back he recruited. Oh,
isn't it amazing? Because that happened. It happens at all levels. It's amazing how coaches they don't go off of just talent or just what you produce. Yeah. They're like, they have their favorites and they have what they want to do. Right. And sometimes you can do everything right.
Your power. Yeah.
Everything. You can ball out and they still won't play you. Like, it's crazy. But it happens.
It was, I think God was definitely testing me for what I do now. You know what I mean? So I definitely believe in a higher power because everything I was just doing, I always would get a major setback with a major comeback. So he would try to bench me and everything. And I was thinking about really transferring because Gamecock, South Carolina, they really wanted me. Okay. But I was like, damn, I kind of got to start over. And I was already adjusted here. So I'm like, I'm gonna stick through it. You know, I'm not just gonna give up. So I ended up just sticking through it. You know, it was really challenging, little physical hamstrings and little minor issues here and there, but I ended up just, you know, thugging it out, really just going through the pain, suffering, you know, conversations with my mom, you know, stuff that like, yo, people don't really talk about that's behind the scenes, but I was going through all them emotions, and the coach really didn't like me. He probably did like me, but he didn't like me. It's like, he just didn't treat me as good as the other athletes. I had to work twice as harder because, you know, I wasn't his product. Right. So I got through there. Thank God, just because of my hard work, consistency, you know, the Giants, and I had a decent agent, you know. I did a local day, so they came to my pro day, and then I did a combine. I did a regional combine, NFL combine down in Washington, and Redskins, all them guys was there. And then I ended up getting invited to the local day for New York Giants, Jets, and in Buffalo. Because like if you're in that state, you get to go to the local day, or they got to invite you. And the Giants was highly interested, so they end up at the end of the draft, I ended up getting a free agent call, and then I went out there. They like what I did, film study. I was really just like, if I see something, I had to repeat it, but just because I just can't get none on the first time. So they seen how repetitively and how consistent I was showing up, because they literally took us through like the films and everything. And then, you know, then that journey of the Giants for, you know, a couple preseason practice squads. And then from there, I was hopping around trying to get like Green Bay, Vikings, just hustling, you know what I mean? Then the organized called my personnel coach, like, yo, we want to see Matthias work out. So they came down to Wagner. I came down to Wagner. We had a workout, and they liked it. So they signed me to like a 6-month contract. So I did that. And then after that, I kind of got depressed because people, you know what I mean? I just felt dark. You know what I mean? And I was like,
because it was Canada, or
probably was, yeah.
Shout out to all my Canadians out there. We love you. I'm just messing with them.
That like changed my life perspective. And that was,
but like, I mean, in all seriousness, do you think it was, and not because it was Canada, but because you were by yourself? Like you were alone.
And then I came back, and then, you know.
And how long were you with the Argonauts?
Like 6 months. Okay. 6 months. It was a short contract because they just needed a running back and stuff like that. I was running back, kickoff and stuff like that. So I was there for a couple months, and then I came back home, and then I was trying to figure out the next move, you know.
And when so talk about the next move. So when did you have that moment where you're like, this isn't the path I want to be on? Because I think everybody has those moments, you know.
Yeah, man. I was in the car, and I was just like, I broke out, cried. Like I was in the car crying. I was like, damn, what's next? You know what I mean? Because all the hard work, 20 years. How am I tell my parents I'm not passionate about this no more? You know what I mean? And I just kind of just, you know, it was slowly, but fitness was right there. You know, I was gonna be a state trooper, but I was like, I'm gonna do fitness full time. So I just came with a list, and then my parents, they ain't really believe it. It's like, how you gonna do that? You know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna use social media as a platform. Yeah. And
did you already have a bit of a following?
Yeah, I had like a similar following because how strong and how powerful I was in college football, and then playing pro. That kind of like gave me a sense of urgency of people. And at that time, not everybody was doing everything now, you know? Right. Yeah. I kind of was above. I kind of was before that trend.
You're kind of right.
Yeah. So
first to do the things that you were doing.
Yeah. So like I was always crazy. Like I was always jumping out of pools, like Bradley Martin, all these guys. I was like, if they could do that, I could do it 10x on steroids. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna do bad flips, lifting 585. This kind of sparked up, you know. And then I told my parents, like, I'm gonna get signed. And I had a really good friend, and I was just so like, you know what I mean? I was just so adventurous. Like I was always figuring the best ways to get myself in a position. Like nobody was telling me nothing. I was listening to Gary Vee every morning when I wake up at my mom's house, because I just didn't want to be there no more. I wanted to be like around my family, but I didn't want to be in that position no more. So every day I would just watch people that was doing stuff, like doing that. How can I get there? What I gotta do? What groups I gotta be in? So I was just doing my research, and I stayed consistent with it, where I had nothing. You know what I mean? I had to rely on my parents to, like, you know, get things going. But I was like, I'm gonna change it. So I wrote down a list. I got signed by Vitamin Shop. the Body Tech Athlete. I'm 5 years in with them now, and just kind of just gave me a motivation and spark. Like, yo, I could be somebody. I could change people's life, and I love working out. So I was like, what's the best way? And I had a conversation with my cousin one day. Now him, another cousin. I was like, bro, should I start personal training? He's like, yeah, why not? I was already doing it. Like the booster guys at Wagner would, pay us some bread to train the booster guys.
Yeah.
So I was like, my side hustle. I would cut hair. That was my side hustle. I would edit people highlights. That was my side hustle. Like I was just a dog. Like I just had many skills, and I was just monetizing it. So when I got home, it was easy for me to get the content out and be consistent. Take the bus to the gym, busting my content, get my contract signed by Vitamin Shop, and then kind of just snowball from there. So yeah, I always had like a presence on social media. But it was just like, how can I get better and stay relevant? So I like took my first check from Vitamin Shop, flew myself out to LA. And then, I linked up with Bradley Martin, Michael Hearn, just a ton of legend names. Okay.
Michael Hearn's a freak, isn't he not?
That's my mentor right
And
now.
I say that's a compliment. Like that's not like a dig. Yeah. So I played football with Heath Evans.
Oh, so Heath
Heath
was at one of my I'll tell you about this story, but you go ahead.
No. I was just saying. I was just connecting the dots.
So Heath,
shout out to Heath.
That's how I met Michael Hearn.
Heath and Michael Hearn are like really close. And the amount of you talk about fascinating clips of people working out. Like it's like you just watch this dude and just like it's not, it's crazy. And then Nick Sansone, another really close friend of mine, is close with Michael Hearn also. Jeez. And he says and then what's crazy, and Mike, we got to get you on the podcast because I've never met him. And never been around him, and I've heard he's great.
The most fantastic human being I met.
Yeah.
And he got like 10 huskies. So when I met him, so when I flew out to LA, I hit up Heath. I'm like, Heath, we're gonna work out. He's like, man, I'm sick. So Michael Hearn works out at 4 a.m. in the morning. So I'm like, oh, that's late. I'm on the East Coast, so that's 7 o'clock for me.
Oh, yeah.
So, I can get
you
out. You
kind of cheated the time. I like it. Yeah.
So I'm outside the parking lot of Gold Gym Venice, and I seen Mona, his wife, and I seen Michael Hearn walking into the gym. They had like 3 huskies. I just walked up to him. I didn't even know him because he called out. And I'm like, hey, Mike, he hit me up, said, meet you guys to work out. He didn't even know me at all. Yeah, it's like, yeah, man, come on.
I love it.
Right in there.
That's great.
Like that whole week was lit. Like I was so hungry, so I worked out 4 times a day because I was making content with other people, and I would work out with Michael Hearn in the morning. Yeah. And then as we working out, he really like, I don't know, we just organically like, attached to each other, and he would like invite me to like, he do events for like the special disability. He donate, he go to the hospitals, he took me there.
Oh wow.
So like it was just crazy. Yeah. I was like, damn.
I gotta say this though, like just hearing you talk, it really resonates because I hope everybody's really, really listening to how you got where you are today. And by the way, you're not even close to being finished. Like you got a hell of a lot more to do. But the reason why you're sitting here, not that this is some special place, but the reason why you're just in this space that you're in is literally not stopping working. Like you put in the work. You were consistent. You never felt sorry for yourself. You never said, oh, I didn't get the football chance, so I'm going to sit around and eat Doritos and play video games and stay with my mama. No, you were like, I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to make something of myself. And you just kept working. You kept working. And it didn't matter what it was. It didn't matter if it was mowing the lawn. It didn't matter if it was doing videos. It didn't matter if it was working out. It didn't matter if it was flying to LA and showing up at Michael Hearn's front door. It didn't matter what it was. It just was hard work. And the take home message there is everyone wants to try to figure out what they need to do. And what I always say is just get to work at something, because you never know what that something will turn into, maybe something else. Exactly. Like it might be like, for example, let's say you just stuck with mowing the lawn. Well, I guarantee you through that hard work, another opportunity would come. You know what I mean? Like somebody probably see you mowing lawn and be like, damn, I pay that dude to mow my lawn. You know what I mean? Like, so, you might have been the mowing the lawn for the housewives of Albany, but you know what I'm saying? But all I'm trying to say is that I think a lot of young people today, they miss out on things because they're trying to wait for the perfect opportunity instead of just putting in hard work. Like we're missing that. Like just work hard. And then something will come from it. Something. I don't think I've ever met a person that didn't bust their ass every single day, wake up at 3 a.m., go to bed at 11, do this, do that, social media, blah, 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 that didn't pan out.
Right, yeah.
Like, you're not going to be consistent at hard working and not something work out for you.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, even if it's just piling the paper, even if it's just stacking your money, that's consistency, you know? So anyways, I had to say that. But yeah, so tell me a little bit more about, so you flew out to LA, you worked out with Mike O'Hearn, creating content. When did it shift to where like, okay, like I can be a Mike O'Hearn, like I can be an influencer? And I know influencer is a little, I'm sure you're not proud of that term, but at the end of the day, that's what you are. And you're more than that, obviously. Yeah. But it's not who you are, it's what you do. But, talk a little bit about when that, because I'm sure there was probably a moment where you're like, hey, I could do this for a living and I can, you know what I mean?
So it was like, I was like, because like I was just so inspired by the things, the message that creators could get by. Yeah, I mean, like I'm like, Gary Vee, for example, like
he's a beast.
He honestly changed my life without even knowing me. You know what I mean? Like I would watch his videos every single day, like, and he would give us free jewels, like free games.
Still doing.
And I'm like, yo, this is insane. And I literally watched his videos, and then I would contact. He had this thing where he's like, yo, just contact people. They got millions of followers, contact. So one of my best friends now, name is Mike, live in Ohio. He was part of my transformation because he was, when Gary Vee said, reach out to these pages, he was one of them pages I reached out to. And now I have a friendship that, I have better relationship with him than people I grew up with, and I messaged Mike. I'm like, Mike, I need to win this competition. It's the body tech. I need you to I got free content for you. I added value for him. So I'm like, I'd work out. I do all these crazy stunts. Can you throw, this is back in like 2018.
Okay.
So 2018, yeah. So I just sent them all my videos. He's like, I'll post you out. Then I really started skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And then Vitamin Shop, we thought this kid Sean was gonna win because X, Y, and Z. They were surprised I won, but I had the
And what did you win?
I won the contract with Vitamin Shop.
Oh, okay. All right.
So this was when I got signed with Vitamin Shop. Right. So they had to go through a whole thing. Like they had a $20,000 contract for a year, and you had to get votes. You had to submit stuff. So I had so many people support me because they knew how because they wanted to be a part of that. So I had people from all angles just cheering for me, working for me, and now I just was the value point. I was like, this is what I could do, this is what I'm gonna present, and then I put that in there, and then it kind of just started plowing.
And you're still with them today?
Yeah, still with Vitamin Shop today. And it's like, because some people yo, that's crazy, because they could have let you go. Like they could have let you go a couple years, or in the pandemic they could have let you go. But I was like, they didn't let me go because they see how hard working I am and valued I am, and what I bring to the brand. I'm not just a leash. I'm a person that's adding value. People are believing in the product even more because they see, I'm not just one man. I have viable or different, I own, a business. I have, a gym, whatever. And
jumping in there, you got a lot going on. So when did you decide to open up your own gym?
When the pandemic hit.
Okay.
So 2020,
you decided to open a gym.
Yeah. So 2020, I was
in New York.
Yeah.
Okay, that's brave. So they were shutting all the gyms down at that time. So
yeah, man, I'm really like a dog.
That's a dog move right there. I'm gonna open up a gym in the middle of the pandemic. So I love it.
My cousin Hezzy right here. So before I really me and Hez really, we was always cousins, but we really these last 4 years, we really connected more. But before that, I was working at my cousin Jordan. I was before personal training. He's like, yeah, do personal training. I was at this one gym. I really how they was treating us. So I'm leaving. I had money stacked up. I was getting my contract money, and I met these firefighters. They had a gym in Voorheesville. This town we talking about, Voorheesville, has 2,700 population. That's not a lot of people.
Tiny.
Yeah. So I went out there, and majority is Caucasian, wealthy Caucasian people. I'm the only.
You say Caucasian?
Yeah,
like white people.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. So I'm the only black minority out there, right? So I'm like, how about this? But I wasn't even thinking about. I tell you, I wasn't even thinking about some of the things that I would tell you. But I was like, I'm just gonna go out here. I just need, they's like, yo, you could buy all this. I'm like, what I gotta do? I don't even know what I had to do. My mom was like, I was like, Mom, I'm like 400 short. She's like, I bet, gave me $400. I had to pay around like 20 grand to get it kicking. So I was just hustling by myself.
So you bought a gym. Yeah. That was already a gym.
There's a gym, but I had to like upgrade it. Like I have
right, of course. Yep.
So it was.
Well, you had to make it your own.
Yeah, you had to make it like you come in there like, yo, I want to work out. We worked out in there. We like, damn, this is dead, but we gotta change it. Yeah. So we like, put the no days off, whatever. We put the slogans on the wall. Have the Hawk. We got Mike Tyson. I mean, made it an
environment.
Yeah, make it an environment. Like, and it was like. Well, as I'm going through this process, I'm training people. So my time clock, right? I kind of isolated myself, man. I just isolated myself. Like I'll wake up, work, go to sleep, train clients all day, and I'll do nothing. And I had to like travel for vitamin shop and stuff like that. And I had to like do payroll. I had to pay bills. It was just so much. But the pandemic kind of helped me because everybody was stuck, and I was going. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm going. You know what I mean? I'm going. So I was training like 25 clients, personal training clients. And I had like, my members was at 0. From the first month, went from 0 to 35. Second month, went from 35 to 65. Then in 3 months, I had 100 members besides my personal training. Then I had classes. The classes went from 0 to no people showing up to like, now we got 10, 15 people show up per class. And it's just like, I was just there 4 a.m. to 3 some days,
Well, again, I'm just got to shed light on this. If you want anything in life, you have to work for it. And right. I think there's a misconception that you can like half-ass, you can open up your gym, you can make it all fancy, and then you can just like let other people run it or disappear. No. Right. If you're going to be the face of the organization, if it's your dream, if it's your vision, then you have to be there. And you have to be there, and you have to be pouring into every single person that walks in that door. Right. And the reason why you built that was your presence, because it's your vision. Yeah. And when you say isolate, I say solitude, because what you did was, it was an intentional isolation. Isolation can be bad, but a solitude can be growth. It can be, it's a sacrifice to put blinders on and be committed to it no matter what. No distractions, no nothing. I'm gonna make this work, and I'm gonna make it work in the middle of a pandemic, and that's powerful. So like,
New York, and it was tough in New York because you had to face what they had, the CDC and all that stuff, all that you had to go through all that stuff, and the people was like, oh, I'm scared of the gym. So I was like,
well, there was a really bad narrative out there during that crap.
I didn't really think about none of the bad stuff. I was always thinking positive. I never thought of
me too.
I never had negative energy. I was just always positive with it, And I was like, I'm gonna make this work regardless the outcome,
Because we had to.
Yeah.
Like everybody else was being negative. So we had to be positive. You know what I mean? Like, there was no option because everybody else was scared to death and all this stuff. And then for me, it didn't make any sense because when the whole pandemic thing first started, I really started researching the immune system. And I'm like, wait a minute. Every single thing they're trying to take away is actually helping our immune system. So shouldn't we be doing the opposite? So that's why I worked out even harder, dieted even harder, more cold plunging, more cardio, more sunlight, more everything, more supplements, because that's how you fight it. Exactly. You don't fight it by isolating yourself and not going out and not doing anything and being in the dark. So anyways, so.
Nah, 100%.
So you open up your own gym, and then what's it called?
It's called I Grind 365.
So y'all hear that? I Grind 365. Does that sound familiar? So I Grind 365. A little bit of a no days off play. I love it.
Yeah, it's like a little spin off.
Well, it's a good thing that you didn't call it no days off, because I would have sued you. So it's all good. No, I'm just kidding. I won't go there, but no. I Grind 365. Love it. So it was funny because when you reached out to me and I saw that, I was like, okay. I was like, all right.
Because I reached out. I was like, because we first came here, people was like, it's a vibe in here. I'm like, bro, this is, because it's like, because on Pinterest they have your gym like trending on Pinterest.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, like
come on, Amber.
Like no days off.
Amber, how do you not know this, girl?
If you're looking
look into that, Amber.
Yeah, if you're looking for
my social media manager's here, so shout out to Amber.
Yeah, she posts pictures whatever, but it's like you want to look like it's like you want moderate gym. This is like one of the top gyms that like what you did here is like the top design.
Oh, appreciate it.
So I was like, yo. that's fire. We came in here. I'm like, bro, I definitely seen this. And I looked up Pinterest. It was on Pinterest.
That's awesome.
But I came here. You had amazing, just everybody was just dope. You know, they was on the same speed as you. You know, whatever you do, you definitely doing it right. So it was just amazing coming here. And we was going to do the pit class, but it was over. But I was like, I was going to get a workout. So they definitely.
So you haven't done a pit class yet?
Nah.
All right, we got to get you in there. We got to get you in there for sure. Hez, I'm not sure you're ready for it now.
He's definitely going to be a pit guy right there.
So Hez would love it. Yeah.
I grind. 365 started in 2014, and you know, it was just an idea. So we had a recording studio in the house, and one of my brother friends was freestyling. I walked in the studio. He's like, "Yo, Matthias, I grind 365."
So he's a rapper.
He's rapping. Yeah, I used to rap.
You used to rap too? Okay, all right. Are we still rapping?
Nah, it depends, but I'm like, let's do a spit up real quick, a little commercial. So I know how to engineer music. I know how to, write lyrics and stuff. So
amazing.
It was just, I was just, I grew up around a lot, I just figured out how, I don't know, this helped me till today, So I grind started in the studio, and then I started putting on shirts. My dad was in and out of prison, so he wasn't really like too much in my life, but like I feel like it kind of helped me because it gave me like I had to be, better than my father, you know what I'm saying? So he would help me when need to be if I like really begged him. Begged him. But yeah, he helped me get my first t-shirts. We still have those. We painted on I Grind 365 on t-shirts, and then my cousin Cayenne, he helped me sell those at his high school. And then he's like, yo, I need money. I was like, bro, use the money from the shirts and get your lacrosse stuff. So he took that money, got his lacrosse stuff, and then we all got I Grind 65 tatted on us because
all right.
It's like a blood thing. So everybody, like, we got fans now got it on them because it's like a little symbol. Like actually this symbol here, people got tatted on them. So it's more than just.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I had a guy DM me that he tattooed the pit bull on his chest.
That's fire.
Like big. And it was like flattering, I was like, dadgum, like that's a lot. Like, cause I have it tatted on me, but it's on my calf. This dude put it on his chest. And I was like, shout out to you, bro. That was, it was like love, But it's wild, right? Like that people like really, but that at the end of the day, that's why I did what I did. And I'm sure you're doing the same thing is that at the end of the day, when you pick a name or you pick something you want to stand by, it's got to be bigger than a product. It's got to be bigger than you. It's got to be bigger than a gym. It's got to be bigger than a service. It has to be tied to a movement that people can attach to their lives and live it out. Exactly. And that's what No Days Off is for me. And I'm sure that's what I Grind 365 is for you. It's a movement. Like we're trying to get people to live their life to the fullest every single day.
Exactly.
Like people don't what happens is when you have loss in your life, you've probably experienced this, like someone dies or you hear about someone dying or, your dog dies, whatever. And then all of a sudden you're like, man, I gotta be serious now about life and all that. And it's like, why do we wait till tragedy? Why are we not celebrating life every single day? Because it's a blessing. It's a gift. Yeah. Like life is a gift. Yeah. Like every single day is a gift. Like when you wake up, and especially if you got support, like especially. Right, but even if you don't, you're breathing. Yeah. And like, like you're walking around. So it's like, man, make the most of it. And that's, you see it up here. Like No Days Off is never taking a day off on you. It's a commitment to becoming your best self. And that's something that never stops. Yeah. And that's why, obviously we resonate with each other because that's what you're doing every single day. And you're finding a way, no matter what it is. And you're pivoting when you need to pivot. You're moving when you need to move. And it could be rapping. It could be this. It could be that. Like, I love it. You're just a hustler, bro. Like, that's, Nah,
you definitely inspire me, man. I didn't even know you from, a crack in the wall. But, just I was just doing my research. It's like, how can I, that's why I'm always messaging you about different stuff. Like, this kid probably, this kid trying to get everything.
Well, no, it's funny. We got to talk about this a little bit. So Instagram is so weird to me because there's so many people, I don't know, and you can explain this to me. So please, actually, I need your advice on this. I always send it to Amber and she doesn't understand it either. So not that she doesn't know, but maybe millions of followers, So I get messages all the time from people that have 800,000 followers or, 2 million followers, whatever. There's I love your content. It's amazing. And then I'll respond with like, thank you very much. And then all of a sudden it's like, sign up for $500 a month and get 100,000.
Like the bots and
like
stuff.
it's weird. It's but are those pages fake?
So yeah, some of them possibly can. You gotta go in there, obviously, like look at their engagement, like see if people reacting, but it's like not really.
And it's always these dudes like in Lambos and in Dubai
they definitely
London
like Instagram scammers. Like they definitely like
for sure
wanna help you but so you're gonna run into people like that. You know what I'm saying?
So what happened was with you is when you first reached out, it felt normal, and then a couple other times it like felt like a bot. So I was like, is this guy real or not? And then what's funny is then you would come to my gym and I wouldn't be here. So I was thinking the same thing. I was like, he probably thinks I'm not even real either. So it was kind of funny because we kept missing each other. And it's just Instagram's funny. And then I'll tell you this. I was actually talking to my wife about this. I was actually talking about Amber about this. I was like, man, I don't know about this guy. I mean, he could be lame as hell. Like, I don't know. And then of course, as soon as I met you, you just know. You know, like you meet certain people, you just know. So as soon as I just met you downstairs, I was like, thank God he's normal. Like, and when I say normal, I don't mean like not normal as in boring, but like there's a vibe, there's an energy, there's a presence. It's just, it was instant. Like, okay, this is gonna be good. Whereas like sometimes you meet people and you're like, because there's a lot of people that I found on Instagram that are good on Instagram, but then in person they're like mutes. Like they don't know how to socialize in person. They're
like introverts or something.
Yeah, they're like they're great on camera, but in person they're like, you know, it's like pulling teeth. So anyways, make a long story short, you're better in person than you are on Instagram.
That's good.
Not to mention you're half naked on Instagram anyway, so that's always awkward for a man too. You're like, damn, he's naked again. So
it's weird. I'll be like, yo, bro, do y'all like my pictures, bro? And then like some people like, I think Rick Ross said something like, yo, my man's posting. I don't care what he posts. I'm gonna like it because it's gonna get more engagement. The bodybuilding thing is like, you know, it's like taking me down a whole different avenue, and I'm like I was telling Amber downstairs, I'm like changing into me more personal with people. Yeah. Because the people, they like the stunts, but they like, people want to, you know, I'm like, I could probably connect with people more in the bodybuilding scene. And people like, oh, I want to look good. How you count your macros? What you doing? X, Y, and Z.
Like coaching more.
Yeah.
Like giving more advice.
More advice. Cause I feel like that's what we need right now. Like entertainment is cool, but like you can entertain and still give people the knowledge that they need.
Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like the entertainment draws them in, and then now you've got their attention. Right. So then take that, now that you have their attention, and then give them some substance, some value, some value. Yeah. And I tell you what too is like, man, tell your story more. Like again, I'm not really on Instagram a lot. You might be doing this already. But like your story is something that a lot of people can resonate with and apply it to their life, because especially football, man, there's a lot of young, talented football players that get it taken away real early, and then they give up on themselves. And it's like, I heard Joe Rogan say this recently, is that if you can become a master at one thing, you can basically become a master at anything. And it really resonated with me because as football players, because I play ball too, as football players, we get put in this pigeonhole that like, you're a football player. And it's like, no, I play football. I'm not a football player. You know what I mean? Like, that's not my identity. I can do whatever I put my mind to. I can be a singer, a dancer, an artist, a gym owner. I can do whatever. And I think a lot of people, because it's one thing if I'm saying it because I'm, 46-year-old white dude saying it or whatever, but you're young, still in it. And so, lean on that and tell your story and let these young cats that have a similar path that can be like, man, he did it, so can I.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a huge thing right now. A lot of athletes, like young cats, like I even have conversations. I got a couple of guys I played with that's still in the league, and I'm like, they like talk to me about like what, like, I'm like, they think I just do. I'm like, no, bro, I don't do social media all the time. It's just a part of my craft and what I'm doing. I have like real estate and have X, Y, and Z that, you know, I'm leveraging to really excel, not just on the platform, but also my personal life. So I could be, you know, retire when I want, or, you know what I mean? I feel like you'll never retire, but it's like you want to be in a spot where you could give other people.
Your personality is not retiring. I hate to tell you, because I'm one of those people too. We would not do well retired.
I might go crazy. I might like, yo, what I'm gonna do, bro? If I get it,
you at least be in the masters division, like, you know, bodybuilding. So you ain't gonna be retired.
Training some kids or something. Exactly. Nah, but it's like, I definitely have conversations with guys. Like, man, like what you doing with your money, bro? You just buying chains, you buying this, you buying that, bro. You need to put it into something that's gonna accumulate to down the line. Is gonna be, all that stuff is gonna be worth nothing compared to if you do that,
right?
You know, so I try to get guys knowledge in starting businesses, or like, yo, you could invest in this X, Y, and Z 100%.
So your gym's still open, right?
Yeah.
So how much time are you spending like with that and versus like the other things you have going on in your life?
So like, it's really like, you know, I got to a point now, you know, I did some of the, you know, best moves for my next level, because I want to, you know, you'll really admire me taking your gym and kind of just making it more of like a brand across different cities. So that's a next thing.
Is that a goal for you now, to open up multiple locations?
So my goal, and I didn't really believe I was gonna do so, and I had like these millionaires come up to me. And I'm like, damn, if you believe in me and you doing stuff, you must be doing something right. Yeah. You seem like you pretty, you know, and they like, I love the business plan, the business model, whatever. And I'm like, I was like, I didn't even know that, you know, that was something possible for me to like multiply it. And they're like, yeah, for sure, you know, we have a conversation about it. And then once I felt like somebody of that caliber feel like I could do so, then I really started thinking more about it. And then I really started believing it. And then it's like, that's now it's like another, it's like when I first got into the gym, I was like risky, and then now it's like risky taking that next level. So it's like, I mean, I don't, you probably could educate me on this, like taking that next leap of like, you know, like going to the next space, you know what I mean?
Basically what happens is that it's very similar to your personal goals and stuff, is that you reach a certain level in your life, and it's what you said you wanted to be. Like so let's say it's winning your first bodybuilding tournament or whatever, and then you do it, and then immediately, because of the way our minds work and the way our mindset is, you immediately think about, okay, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And oftentimes what happens is, what people don't realize is, oftentimes it requires you to take 2 steps back in order to take 5 steps forward. So you might have to take your, like, and I'll give you an example. Like in 2015, I had one location that had been open for 7 years at the time. And I'm, you know, with a lack of better words, I'm balling, you know, like balling, stacking, you know, like it's the hottest gym in Miami. Literally both no AC and because we were lit. But I mean, I'm talking like 128 people coming to my classes, like me training the entire Miami Dolphins offensive line and hundreds of NBA players. You know, it was just lit. It was the talk of the town, you know. And at that time, I could have kept doing that. I could have kept just having one gym and doing that, but that was never my goal. That was never my vision. My vision was way bigger than that. My vision was, I want to be a Nike one day. Like, that's my vision. My vision is I want to be a Nike, and even bigger than Nike. Like, that's the kind of goal that I have for my brand and for what I'm trying to do. So what does that mean? Well, when I go to open the second location, you've got to invest all this money that you're making into the next location. So now you got to make a sacrifice and a risk to say, okay, instead of pocketing and saving money and investing in other things, no, I'm betting on myself. Then I'm going to take this money and I'm going to put it in another location. And so then you do that, and you got to believe in that it's going to work. And then it happens again, right? You got 2 locations, and then you're like, I think I can do 3 locations. I think I can do 5. And then what's crazy for me, it was I had 3 locations, and we were in the middle of construction of another 3 locations, and then the pandemic hit. So in the middle of the pandemic, I'm like got 6 locations that are basically closed down, you know? And then we came out of the pandemic when instead of with 3, we came out with 6. So I think another point to this is that you just got to understand that there's never a problem. There's only a solution. There's never a reason to panic, only a reason to pivot. So like anytime you come to a place where it feels like, you know, you're sweating and you're nervous and you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. then you gotta go. Then you gotta go. You gotta do it, because that's exactly when you need to move. And some of the scariest things I've done in business was the best thing I ever could have done. But it takes faith, and we're both believers. It takes favor. Right. And that's another thing too that people don't realize. Like I tell my staff all the time, like you might not believe in God, but God believes in you. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter that you don't believe in God, because I believe in God and God believes in you. So you're a byproduct of my favor because God put favor on me. Right. And sorry, we're going to be successful regardless. So you better start believing anyways. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that you're in a similar situation, and we also have to understand that you're the captain of the ship. Right. So by your guidance, by you operating at a high level, and here's the best advice I can give you, not that you're asking for it, but I'm gonna give it to you anyways, is that
I need old advice.
Is that well, I think advice is funny, because advice sometimes only really means anything if it's an experience that you're going through. And I think in this situation, we have a lot of similarities, a lot. I'm a little farther ahead of you, but a lot of similarities in our start and how. I mean, I could tell you literally the same 4th grade story and football story that damn near lined up to yours. It's kind of crazy, kind of weird listening to it. But I kind of lost my train of thought. But what was I talking about?
You don't do advice.
So the best absolutely thing that I've ever read, and I read a lot, is that your business is only going to go as far as your own personal development. The higher you can attain yourself, the higher everything around you will go. So you should be learning more. You should be becoming more. You should be studying more. You should be grateful more. You should be whatever it is that you can make yourself better, you can improve on yourself. Then you will be a byproduct. Everyone around you will be a byproduct of your growth. And so read more, do more, study more, be more. Everything is it all is going to come down to you. And if you do that, then all of a sudden there's a domino effect to that. But what happens is a lot of times is we forget that. And we're so into trying to make everybody else better and trying to make our business better that then we stop. And again, I know you probably haven't faced this because you're still young, but like you'll stop working out. You're not reading as much. You're not sleeping as much. You're stressed out. Like these are, because business, the more you grow, you're going to have way more pressure on you and way more stress.
It's funny you say that because like, you know, I feel like I'm kind of in that right now. That's why I did the bodybuilding show, to keep me in my P's and Q's, you know, cause I feel like I have to work out. So now I need something competitively pushing me. And you know, when you invest in something, you're gonna do it. Like that's how, if I was spending money on something, I'm going to do 120%. Right. So it's like, that's where I'm at now. That's why I did the bodybuilding show. Now, like I'm training people to like, okay, this is my vision. This is where I want to go. This is where I need you to be. So we got to keep each other accountable so we can move forward. I love that. You know, so that's where I'm at now. You know, that's where I got my cousin with me. So he like sees what I do. So like, if anything go wrong, he know right. We got the right connections and we know how to make left and right.
So you made better decisions than me. Like when I was in it. Like there was probably a period of time where I didn't even work out for like 3.5 years because I was training 16 hours a day, like non-stop, training people. Mm-hmm. You know, like literally from 5 a.m. till 10 p.m. just training people all day long. I might have gotten a set of curls in, you know, and barely eating and just working my ass off. Right. And looking back on that, yeah, I mean, you know, people say, oh, that's how you are, where you are today. And yes, in a way, but then there was a moment where I realized I'm not filling up my own cup. I'm trying to fill people up with an empty cup, and it's exhausting. It's gonna lead to some bad things. So I started to get back and becoming my best self. Right. And then that's really when like this whole, it's a commitment to becoming your best self, like really started to resonate with even me, because I knew if I did that, then it's kind of like the, you know, I say this all the time, I repeat myself a lot about this, but the oxygen mask falling in a plane, you know, like when you're going down, they're like, you got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, because if you don't, you can't take care of the people around you. So it's really powerful that you said you decided to do the bodybuilding, because it's going to hold you accountable. Because at the end of the day, that's accountability is everything, and you need people around you to hold you accountable. So, you know, you guys keep doing that. You know what I mean? Keep holding each other accountable, because one day he's not going to be as strong. One day you're not going to be as strong. We all battle with that. Like we're not, we look like human Superman, Iron Man, you know, but everybody struggles. Everybody struggles. Like that, it's a lie. Like, come on. Like if you're out there saying you don't struggle, like you don't have bad days, like, then you're full of shit.
I like that saying what Deion Sanders say. He said you never have a bad day, you just have bad moments in the day. Don't let that bad moment affect the domino effect of the rest of the day. So I try to go by that. Like if something goes to the left, I'm like, I'm not gonna let that affect the rest of the day, because somebody coming into the gym today might need some energy or positivity from this community to get them through that day. So I definitely believe in, like, you know, just try to keep my highs up.
Well, that too is a powerful statement, because one of the best things I tell my staff is that if you wake up in a bad mood, or you wake up and you're having a bad day, let's say you get in a wreck or you're late to work, whatever, as soon as you change that perspective and pour into other people, make someone else smile, give someone else a compliment, and their reaction all of a sudden changes your entire mood. And now, because you've served another person, because you didn't make it about yourself, you made it about somebody, now all of a sudden you're feeling good again. But what happens is a lot of times you get in a wreck, someone cuts you off, you woke up late, your tummy hurts or whatever it is, and you focus on yourself. And then you say to yourself, I'm having a bad day. I'm having a bad day. Well, we become what we tell ourselves, and we become our choices. So you're making a choice at that point. You're telling yourself you're having a bad day. You keep repeating that, and then you're not putting any attention on those around you. So then, of course, you're gonna have a bad day. So that's a great point.
And like a question for you is like, what did I say? Like you're a family man. I respect that a lot too. It's like me being so committed to my lifestyle, you know, I want a significant other, you know, like how you balance that.
You're in a great position, because if you are, again, you're the type of person, what I'm hearing, and again, I don't know you, but what I'm hearing, anybody that does it, and let me be clear, anybody that does a bodybuilding show has undeniable discipline, commitment, hard work. Bodybuilding, a lot of people think bodybuilding is like, you know, easy or like narcissistic, whatever. No, it is a really hard discipline, really hard, a lot of sacrifices. You got to eat at a certain time. You got to lift at a certain time. You got to sleep at a certain time. You got to lift at a certain time. Like, it's very a discipline.
Calorie deficit, all that, hormones.
All that. Yeah, exactly. So what I say to people in your position is that you are truly committed to becoming your best self. And when you do that, all of a sudden your vibration or your frequency is going to draw someone else that's on that same path of becoming their best self. So you're going to find your dream girl, right? You know, maybe not tomorrow or whatever, but at some point you are going to be able to handle it, because you are good. And a lot of times people don't find the right person, or they find the wrong person because they're not living the life that they should be living. But you're doing all the things. And again, I don't know you. You might be, you know, other things bad, but for the most part, it sounds like you're pretty dialed in. But remember that, like, even if there are things in your life that you should change or whatever, just remember that the best way to be prepared for a partner is being the best you. So that you're prepared to give her what she needs. And what most of the time, what that is being the best version of yourself. Because you can't, again, it goes back to what I said earlier, you can't pour from the empty cup. So if you're vibrating at a high frequency and you're doing all these things in a good way, then of course she's going to be attracted to you, you know? And then as far as, I would say this, like, there's really no such thing as balance. You know, like a lot of times people are like, you know, I want balance in my life. You know, like
I feel like it's especially being an entrepreneur. I feel like there's no balance.
Like there's no such thing. You know, I think that I would change the word balance to intentional. So what it is that when you are with the person you want to be with for the rest of your life, you have to be present. Right. So you can't be like working when you're around them or on your phone when you're around them. Like you need to be present with that person. You need to listen to them, especially women. You gotta listen to them, you know? Like you got to listen and you got to hear them. My wife's probably dying out laughing. She's probably like, you don't listen to a word I said, but you know, that's another thing. And then when you get kids involved, same thing, like time and intentionality. Right. Time is only, spending time with people is only good if you're intentional with that. Like if you're spending time with your kid and you're on your phone the whole time and like not really spending quality time, well then he's not gonna, you know, he or she is not gonna remember those. Exactly. But for me, I just try to be very available and try to be present and really present with my family at the time. And then also is another thing too, is like there's some weird thing that like you can't include your family in work. Like they come to the gym all the time. They're a part of it. I try to use them like in my like commercials and like, you know what I mean? Like I want them to be a part of it. That's inspiring
to me, you know, like, cause I want like, I mean, I want to be a family man, you know, I want to, you know what I mean? Cause out looking in is like, it's probably not perfect for you, but I mean, you're doing a pretty damn good job, you know, of leading by example for young men like me to like, yo, this I could do that because he's doing that.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I mean, that's definitely inspirational to people like me that you were handling how you do, and it's amazing, man. For sure.
Yeah, and listen, it's never easy. All right, relationships are not easy. So don't take me, you know, saying what I'm saying is easy. Like at the end of the day, relationships is a commitment. So like a lot of times too, this is gonna happen to you. Like you're gonna fall in love and you're gonna have that honeymoon phase and you're gonna be like, oh my God. Like, and everything's gonna be hot and sexy and all that. And then, you know, it'll die down a little bit. And that's when you gotta put more effort into it. That's when you gotta have the date nights and you gotta say the sweet things and you gotta be intentional, you know, like, so it's all, everything in life is about what you put into it. Right. So again, that's why I don't feel like you're gonna have a problem with it, because you're a hard worker. You obviously had an amazing mom, so you had that example. And at the end of the day, you treat your girlfriend, your future wife, like you treat your mom. You're gonna be fine. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
Yeah, mom keep me in town, still scared her.
Exactly, right? I'm a mama's boy too, so I totally understand. Mamas don't mess around. So.
They don't, man. They don't. Nah, yeah, it's amazing, man, for sure.
What else? Talk to
me. The no days off. You gotta tell us about that now. They gotta learn about the no days off.
Yeah, I feel like I tell the story all the time. Do you know what, like how I started No Days Off? Like why I started?
I don't even know how you got into. I know you trained a lot of pro guys and stuff like that, but like I don't know how you.
I'll take you back to 2009. So November 2008, I opened up my first Legacy location, and it was actually behind here by the train tracks at the time, right next to 4 crack houses, and in the middle of the, like, literally it was known for like where all the hookers would go and sell crack and sell themselves or whatever. It was a bad, dark, scary road, like scary street, like big time. Like, I mean, dead end of the train tracks. It was like when I first took my very first business partner at the time, when I took him down the train side, he was like, no, we're not doing this. But I saw where it would be, and I saw that it was centrally located. Right. There was 195, 395. It was to me, it was a perfect spot. And now fast forward, 15 years later, I was definitely right. But at the time, it did take a while for it to build up. But when I first opened, right around 2009, I started training Rico Love. And do you know who Rico is?
Rico.
So Rico is one of the top songwriters and producers in the game. Like he does all of Usher stuff. Wrote for Beyonce. You know Beyonce's Sweet Dreams? That song? You ever heard this song, Sweet Dreams? And when she goes, turn the lights on? Yeah. So any song you hear that says turn the lights on is Rico Love.
Oh, Rico Love, okay.
So, I mean, Mario, like Pleasure P, I mean, the list got, too many to name. I mean, the guy's got tons of songs. Shout out Rico. He's one of my dear friends. But I started training him, and along with other people and athletes and all this stuff. But when I was training him, one of the things I started noticing was that he'd be in the studio till like 6 in the morning, but then we trained at 9 a.m. every single day at 9 a.m. And he never missed a day. Like, he was always there, no matter if he was in the studio till 8:30 at night in the morning. You know what I mean? He just never missed a day. And then I also never missed a day. So at the time, I was dealing with tremendous back pain. So I broke my back twice, and nobody really, and I would never really let obviously my family and close friends knew, but for the most part, clients didn't know how much pain I was in. I was in 24-hour pain, shooting pain down my leg all day long, like all day long. And I was training clients and all day long. So one day we were just kind of talking, and I was like, man, we don't take no days off. Like, and then he was like, man, we definitely don't take no days off. And then we were just like, and we just kept like saying it kind of back and forth. And I was like, wait a minute. And then at the time, one of my favorite books was Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. So it's Shoe Dog. If you haven't read it, you should read it. It's the story of Nike. So, and did you see the movie Air? Yeah. So imagine Air, like, but with the full story, from the very first day to where they are today. So, so it's called Shoe Dog, Phil Knight, and that's been one of my favorite books. And when I read it, one thing that stood out to me was kind of the 3 pillars of a brand, and it's the name. So you got Nike. So for me, it's legacy, and then you got Just Do It. Which for me is no days off. And then you got the swoosh, right? Which for me is the pit bull. So I knew at the time that I needed 3 pillars, and I had legacy, I had the pit bull, but I didn't have my motto and what I had for Just Do It. So when Rico and I had that kind of like dialogue, I was like, oh, it's no days off. And so then, we started, so those were my 3 pillars. And then I was even more intentional. I had a lot of people tell me in the beginning, like, why don't you ever make legacy t-shirts? Why don't you ever shout out the gym more? You're all you ever talk about is no days off in the pit bull, no days off in the pit bull. And the reason why I did is because I always believed that the brand would be bigger than a gym. I always believed that it would be bigger than a product, a t-shirt, a beverage. Like, I knew that if I kept driving the movement, that eventually it would be bigger than anything, and especially me. It would be bigger than me. So I'm planting that seed. And then crazy, like 13 years later, I opened up my own beverage company called No Days Off. So it was just one of those things that, and that's another thing too, I'll tell you, like, don't ever put a timeline on your stuff. Like, don't ever say like, I gotta be doing this by 2026 or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, it'll happen when it'll happen, as long as you don't stop. And who cares if it takes 20 years, 30 years, whatever, because you're impacting the world anyways. Like, you're doing this anyway. So I think entrepreneurs, the thing that messes us up is that we say to ourselves, I have to do this by this time, and we put a timeline on it instead of just saying, I'm gonna go do this. And have the vision, and then don't stop until the vision is completed. So for me, I'm a long way away from being a Nike, like a long way away, but I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. And I've been at it for 15 years, and I'm not slowing down. I actually feel like, and I say this to my staff all the time, and they can't stand me for saying it, but I feel like we're just getting started every year.
We always say it's the warm up.
It's the warm up, bro. It's the warm up, baby. And I also feel like I'm getting better. From a standpoint of, like, I always say, like, this version of myself could whoop my old version's ass, I want to improve. I love this. I just read a book recently, and it talked about how we have a tendency to stay around our own age group, and it's very wise that the older you get, you start hanging out with people younger, because number one, it keeps you young. Number two, it keeps you relevant. And then also it's inspiring. Like, for me to hear you say that I encourage you and that I was like, that helps me keep going. Because there are a lot of moments in this Instagram world where, you got 1 million followers, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got a big following. You're doing big things. But for you to say, hey, you are helping me with your 20,000 followers. You know what I mean? Like, because I think no matter, we can say that we don't care about followers, we don't care about likes, we don't care about views, but we're all human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people are looking at that. We're all looking at that. Like, it does affect you when you pull up your podcast on YouTube and it says 10 views. Like, you're like, damn, 10 views, you know, and then you see somebody like twerking on the video next to you and they have 3.5 million views, you know what I mean? You're like, damn, should I be twerking in my videos? Like, you know what I mean? So
crazy.
But yeah, like, but I appreciate you. Number one, I appreciate you reaching out. You know, it does not go overlooked. Like, I love the fact that you reached out. I love these questions because this is what I feel like I was on the earth to do. Like, honestly, like, I feel like I was put on the earth to pour into other people. Right. Like, I feel like I was put on the earth to make other people successful. Now, will I become successful because of that? Of course, you know, but it's like you said, like Gary Vee and how he impacted you. Like, I hope that these things are having that same impact on people, because at the end of the day, that's why we do it, man. Like, we don't do it. I don't do this stuff on Saturdays, like, for myself, you know what I mean? Like, it's Saturday. Like, nobody, you know, I'd rather be on the beach right now. You know? Well, maybe not spring break right now, but
cool down.
Spring break's a little crazy right now, but yeah, so.
Nah, yeah, you definitely leaving a legacy for sure, man. This is dope.
And did I answer that question right? Because I went on a tangent for a while.
You did.
Where No Days Off came from?
The shoe dog. Yeah,
exactly.
Dog.
So
you definitely got.
So that's where No Days Off came from. We definitely got to get my water in your gym. So that's a must.
For sure. We've been talking about it. So you know,
I mean, it's just and obviously
he's like, get over Amazon. I'm like, I
bet. we also, like, we should do a collaboration on the shirts too. Like,
we should do something
shirts,
whatever, you know, personal brand, whatever. Because man, it's the stuff like the sky's the limit, and the networking is there.
So what's next for you? Other than the show, when's your bodybuilding show?
It's March 30th.
March 30th, so that's right around the corner.
That's right around the corner. So my goal is with that, you know, I really wasn't going to be super dedicated. What I'm about to say now is like, I was like, I want to compete at the Olympia.
Oh, okay.
So like that's how I want to go with it. But at first I was just like, all we're gonna do is just keep each other accountable. Then I'm like, bro, I really love this, man.
Yeah.
Like, the body change, the transformation. Like, I don't know, the people the new following group I'm getting is. It's like, damn, I might.
It's a real strong community.
Yo, this might be me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Like, you know,
should I start calling you Flex or change your name?
You know, and I'm like, my genetics and the God gift, I feel like I could do something special with it and inspire people, especially into my community and my culture of people. I could like, yo, bodybuilding is not just for, you know, Pacific like people. It's a broad, it's like a real general thing. You just gotta figure out what want to be in it. Right. So that's what I think I want to do, other than like the gym and stuff. But Miami, I'm definitely thinking about, you know, just every time I come down here, it's just God is telling me like, this might be a spot for you.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. But you know, every time I come down, I'm always meeting people that's here with it, like that I could have conversation with, and they mostly all older, because they like that's where I want to be. Is like, yo, business owner.
Well, you can tell you have a mature mind. You know, like you're a lot further along than most people are at your age, and it's really because of the way you started and the way you didn't stop. But I always grew up. I was like always the youngest. Cause I'm the only child of my mom, my dad. You know, like seeing my dad locked up in prison, like that was like very traumatizing. You know, and I was like, damn. I mean, and I hated seeing my mom cry at nights and stuff like that. And then, you know, I had amount of tragic things happened to me that I was like, I gotta change this narrative, you know. I gotta use all that fire, not to be angry, but to be, you know, be somebody. Right. So I think that's why like I'm like driving so hard and reaching for the stars, is because like you can change. How I interpret that is like you literally can change your generational. Like you're making a generational change. So what I mean by that is like, you're saying from this day on, the people that come after me are not going to go through what I went through. So you're going to change the generational, you know, trajectory of your family. And a lot of people need to hear that, and you could be the voice of that. So that's real powerful, real powerful.